Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to Talk to the Hand Reviews. You know I love to dance. I'd love for you to dance. Okay, today I want to talk about another fragrance in the Elizabeth Taylor Fragrances collection. White Diamonds Night from Elizabeth Taylor. White Diamonds Night. Okay, this fragrance, this bottle is really beautiful. Diamonds here, but it's, it's a cleverly done little plastic looking, and it's a really nice looking bottle. I think that it's a really pretty bottle. This is glass, and this is the eau de toilette spray, natural. And I ordered this online, and unfortunately it came completely empty. I bought a tester. This is, the testers come a lot of times in these, and the price was really great, but the product almost completely leaked out, and I could smell it really strong. So I've had this around my house now for months. And it still smells. This box still smells really strong. If you leave it in a room, it'd be an air freshener. And so they reimbursed me. I was hoping they would send me another bottle instead, but they didn't, so whatever. But I'm probably not going to buy it again because it's not exactly my preferred type of fragrance, but I'm so glad that I tried it out. I was able to get a little bit more on my hands, on my arms, but it's like, hello. It does smell really good though. It's one of those things. It's hard to stop smelling. It's really nice. It's just that sometimes things that are a little bit on the more incensey side, they're a little bit too much for me. And this is quite incensey, but I would still wear it if I had any, but I don't really have any. But on the skin, it becomes more sweet than the first spray smells like, or than what this smells like. Yeah. White Diamonds Night by Elizabeth Taylor. It really looks so pretty. It really looks like diamonds. I really like it. You know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit? I wouldn't have said this before, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Cacharel Yes I Am, which is one that I have that I do really like, but that one leans more gourmand than this, but this is really nice. So a few things I want to tell you about it. A little blurb on it says, it's a floral bouquet of night flowers. A floral bouquet of night flowers. And I thought, night flowers? Wow. So flowers that only bloom at night, which is such a unique thing to do within the world of fragrance, I think, because it's a whole different world of flowers that bloom at night than flowers that bloom during the day. And how amazing that you can take something like a jasmine, a night blooming jasmine, which smells different from other kinds of jasmines, and encapsulate it so that you can smell that. It's something that you wouldn't be able to smell at all during the day. If you never went out during the day, or if you didn't have a night blooming jasmine plant at home, you'd never know what that smells like. So I thought it was really cool that they decided to do that. Now, when I read the ingredients, it said that the two flowers in it were night blooming jasmine and freesia, but I don't believe freesia blooms at night. So I think they're mainly talking about the night blooming jasmine, which I also can't smell in this. I can't smell, what I think this smells like is a lot like a berry influenced, like a really sugary peach and incense. There was no nose given for it. It was created in 2016, and on Fragrantica it rates 4.13 out of 5 for 315 votes. So it does pretty well. What's it smell like? I know you want to know what's it smell like. Okay. 28 people felt it smelled like Visa by Robert Pigeouet. They made one of my favorite fragrances called Fracas. Number 2, 16 people felt it smelled like White Soul from Fred Lapidus. 3 people felt it smelled like Shalimar. You know what? I think it's very similar to the Shalimar vibe. And I used to work for Galan in promotions. And so I wore a lot of Shalimar. And yeah, I'd say I definitely say somebody who likes Shalimar will like this for sure. 7 people felt it was like Rebel by Rihanna, or Rebel. I'm not sure if it's Rebel or Rebel. Also 7 people said it was similar to Patchouli Intense by Molinard. And 5 people, okay, I think this might be an extra one. 5 people felt it was like Dior's Diorella. I think maybe. I worked behind the counter in cosmetics for Christian Dior too at a department store, and Diorella was one we sold, but I never remember it being one of my favorites. So I think it probably, if I recall, it is similar to Diorella, or rather not similar. Probably the same kind of family. A person who would like that would probably also like this. And then because there wasn't that much information on it, I went ahead and I dug a little deeper into some of other people's opinions on it, and there were a lot of positive reviews. One person said it reminded them of Chopard Cashmere, which is Chopard Cashmere. When I was working in my first fragrance job, my first fragrance job in the late 80s, it launched at our store, and it was so unique because never before was there a fragrance that had so much vanilla that any of us were really familiar with, and we kept being like, vanilla, 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 it smells so good. And it was a really special fragrance, I recall, Chopard Cashmere at the time. And I remember thinking, I wonder why more fragrances don't use vanilla, because this fragrance did. And I found out later, because there weren't really gourmands in the late 80s and the early 90s, because they didn't come up with the technology that is in place now until I think it was the early to mid 90s, where more gourmand, more food related fragrances could be used. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Someone said that this fragrance smells purple to them, and I thought that hits the nail on the head. It does smell. It smells purple to me too. It smells like, cassis or raspberry or something like that. I think it's a good shared fragrance, like, unisex, but it leans feminine. But there's that really nice. There's that really sexy, incensey, sensual, full, passionate. It really is. It's a very sexy, sensual, emotional fragrance, I think. It's really seductive and in your face. And I thought it kind of reminded me of, like, you walk into a nightclub and you look around and everything, there's like red velvet wallpaper on the walls and the lights are really dark. There's some chandeliers, there's, it looks like maybe a martini bar in the 90s, or, really kind of like, maybe there's some people in there that, like, maybe some gangsters and people like that just make you a little bit, I don't know, should I be here? Well, what the heck, the drinks are good and I feel sexy, that kind of thing. Like I said, though, I don't smell freesia at all. Someone said they thought it had a smoky hippie vibe. Exactly, except it has a smoky hippie vibe, but it's not at all like Nag Champa, which is associated with hippie culture, It's not at all Like, I don't smell this and think, oh, that's so hippie. I smell this and think, that's so sexy. It's very, it's like the way that the incense is used, that this person, how they say, it's like a smoky hippie vibe. It's like a smoky sexy vibe. So, and it does smell very incensey, but not like musk incense, more like a strawberry incense, or a fresh flower incense. White Diamonds Night. I would totally recommend this if you like a more man, if you're just looking for a sexy fragrance, this is the sexy ass fragrance, honey. Yeah, so, I wanted to mention one more thing about Elizabeth Taylor fragrances. If you haven't watched my Elizabeth Taylor video, I'm just going to tell you really quick something that I tell people in that. I was working behind the counter in fragrances. I don't know. Oh, this came out in 2016, I think they said. So long since I've been gone out of that world. But I launched the original Elizabeth Taylor's Passion. And I remember one of the funny things that happened was, I was showing it, and it was my line, which basically means, in department stores, a lot of times you're assigned particular lines so that you're the one who keeps the books, and you're the one who makes sure that the stock gets brought in from the dock, and those kinds of mundane things. But you're the person who's in charge, but you also make more commission. Usually, that's how it used to be. I don't know how it is now at all. That was like in the 80s and 90s. That was what it was like. So anyways, I was showing the fragrance, and it was new, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And we had this picture of Elizabeth Taylor holding up a little bottle of the original Passion, and I have an 8x10 that I found in my storage unit. I'm going to show it somewhere in this video, probably right now. Okay, if that's not provenance, I don't know what the heck is. This must have been from the launch of Elizabeth Taylor's Passion. I just found it in my stuff with one of my Maryland books. It's in there. So now I can show it to you guys. It's pretty nice, eh? Cool. Thanks, honey. Yeah, I'm glad I kept it. I have one from Cher's Uninhibited too. I have a picture of it somewhere. I don't know where it is. But what I wanted to tell you, another thing I wanted to tell you about that Elizabeth Taylor's Passion experience was there was a little lady. She was quite old, passing by, and I thought, oh, she's gonna like this because she's familiar with Elizabeth Taylor, right? So I was like, would you like to try some Elizabeth Taylor's Passion? It's new. And she's like, oh, she turned away from me with like disgust. And then she turned back around and said, she stole Eddie Fisher away from Debbie Reynolds. And I was like, what? Because I didn't know. I was like 19, maybe I was 20 by then, but I didn't know the ins and outs of Elizabeth Taylor's life and all that. I mean, there's still a lot of people that are mad about that, but yeah, it's kind of one of those interesting little things that you just deal with the public's opinion in a case like that. So anyways, though, I would say I would really recommend this fragrance. I think it's pretty darn nice. I mean, it screams sexy. Anyways, that's about all I have to say, and thank you very much for watching me again, and I hope you'll come back again. I hope you'll feel like subscribing. I hope you'll feel like giving it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. And I will see you next time. Bye.